of control you feel. You will also have the drive and determination to achieve them. You will feel as if you hold your life in your own hands, and that you can make it into whatever you decide to. It is in your hands. The starting point of goal setting is for you to realize that you have virtually unlimited potential to be, have or do anything you really want in life, if you simply want it badly enough, and are willing to work long enough and hard enough to achieve it. The second part of goal setting is for you to accept complete responsibility for your life, and for everything that happens to you, with no blaming and no excuses. Goals. Page 36. With these two concepts clearly in mind, that you have unlimited potential and that you are completely responsible, you are now ready to move to the next step, which is to begin designing your ideal future. Take charge of your life. 1. Identify your biggest problem or source of negativity in life today. In what ways are you responsible for this situation? 2. See yourself as the president of your own company. How would you act differently if you owned 100% of the shares? 3. Resolve today to stop blaming anyone else for anything and instead accept complete responsibility in every area of your life. What actions should you be taking? 4. Stop making excuses and start making progress. Imagine that your favorite excuses have no basis in fact, and act accordingly. 5. See yourself as the primary creative force in your own life. You are where you are and what you are because of your own choices and decisions. What should you change? 6. Resolve today to forgive anyone who has ever hurt you in any way. Let it go. Refuse to discuss it again. Instead, get so busy working on something that is important to you that you don't have time to think about it again. Goals. Page 37. Chapter 3. Create your own future. You will become large as your controlling desire, or as great as your dominant aspiration. James Allen. In more than 3,300 studies of leaders conducted over the years, there is a special quality that stands out, one quality that all great leaders have in common. It is the quality of vision. Leaders have vision. Non-leaders do not. Earlier I said that the most important discovery in all of human history is that you become what you think about, most of the time. What is it then that leaders think about, most of the time? And the answer is that leaders think about the future and where they are going, and what they can do to get there. Non-leaders, on the other hand, think about the present, and the pleasures and problems of the moment. They think and worry about the past, and what has happened that cannot be changed. Think about the future. We call this leadership quality, future orientation. Leaders think about the future and what they want to accomplish, and where they want to arrive sometime down the road. Leaders think about what they want, and what can be done to achieve it. The good news is that goals. Page 38. When you begin to think about your future as well, you begin to think like a leader, and you will soon get the same results that leaders get. Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard concluded, after more than 50 years of research, that long-time perspective was the most important determinant of financial and personal success in life. Banfield defined long-time perspective as the ability to think several years into the future while making decisions in the present. This is one of the most important discoveries ever made. Just think. The further you think into the future, the better decisions you will make in the present to assure that that future becomes a reality. Become a millionaire. For example, if you save $100 per month from the age of 20 to the age of 65, and you invested that money in a mutual fund earning an average of 10% per annum over time, you would be worth more than $1,118,000 when you retired. Anyone who really wanted to could save $100 per month, if he or she had a long enough time perspective. What this means is that every single person starting work today can become a millionaire over time if they begin early enough, save consistently enough, and hold to their long-term vision of financial independence. Goals. Page 39. Create a 5-year fantasy. In personal strategic planning, you should begin with a long-term view of your life, as well. You should begin by practicing idealization in everything you do. In the process of idealization, you create a 5-year fantasy for yourself, and begin thinking about what your life would look like in 5 years if it were perfect in every respect. The biggest single obstacle to setting goals is self-limiting beliefs. These are areas where you believe yourself to be limited in some way. You may believe yourself to be inadequate or inferior in areas such as intelligence, ability, talent, creativity, personality, or something else. As a result, you sell yourself short. By underestimating yourself, you set either no goals, or low goals that are far below what you are truly capable of accomplishing. Imagine no limitations. By combining idealization and future orientation, you cancel or neutralize this process of self-limitation. You imagine for the moment that you have no limitations at all. You imagine that you have all the time, talents and abilities you could ever require to achieve any goal you could set for yourself. No matter where you are in life, you imagine that you have all the friends, contacts and relationships you need to open every door and achieve anything you could really want. You imagine that you have no limitations whatsoever on what you goals. Page 40. Could be, have or do in the pursuit of the goals that are really important to you. Practice blue sky thinking. In Charles Garfield's studies of peak performers, he made an interesting discovery. He analyzed men and women who had achieved only average results at work for many years, but who suddenly exploded into great success and accomplishment. He found that at the take-off point, every one of them began engaging in what he called blue sky thinking. In blue sky thinking, you imagine that all things are possible for you, just like looking up into a clear blue sky, with no limits. You project forward several years and imagine that your life were perfect in every respect sometime in the future. You then look back to where you are today and ask yourself this question: what would have to have happened for me to have created my perfect future? You then come back to where you are in the present in your own mind, and you ask, what would have to happen from this point forward for me to achieve all my goals sometime in the future? Refuse to compromise your dreams. When you practice idealization and future orientation, you make no compromises with your dreams and visions for yourself and your future. You don't settle for smaller goals or half successes. Instead, you dream big dreams and project forward mentally as though you are one of the most powerful people in the universe. You create your goals. Page 41. Perfect future. You decide what you really want, before you come back to the present moment and deal with what is possible for you within your current situation. Start with your business and career. Imagine that your work life was perfect 5 years from now. Answer these questions. 1. What would it look like? 2. What would you be doing? 3. Where would you be doing it? 4. Who would you be working with? What level of responsibility would you have? 5. What kind of skills and abilities would you have? 6. What kind of goals would you be accomplishing? 7. What level of status would you have in your field? Practice no limit thinking when you answer these questions. Imagine that you have no limits. Imagine that everything is possible for you. Peter Drucker once said, "We greatly overestimate what we can accomplish in 1 year. But we greatly underestimate what we can accomplish in 5 years." Don't let this happen to you. Goals. Page 42. Now, idealize your perfect financial life sometime in the future. 1. How much do you want to be earning 5 years from today? 2. What sort of lifestyle do you want to have? What kind of home do you want to live in? 3. What kind of car do you want to drive? 4. What kind of material luxuries do you want to provide for yourself and your family? 5. How much do you want to have in the bank? 6. How much do you want to be saving and investing each month and each year? 7. How much do you want to be worth when you retire? Imagine that you have a magic slate. You can write down anything you want. You can erase anything that may have happened in the past, and create whatever picture you desire for your future. You can clean the slate at any time and start over. You have no limits. Imagine your perfect family life. Look at your family and relationships today, and project 5 years into the future. 1. If your family life were perfect 5 years from now, what would it look like? Goals. Page 43. 2. Who would you be with? Who would you no longer be with? 3. Where and how would you be living? 4. What kind of living standards would you have? 5. What kind of relationships would you have with the most important people in your life 5 years from now, if everything were perfect in every respect? When you fantasize and imagine your perfect future, the only question you ask is, how? This is the most powerful question of all. Asking it repeatedly stimulates your creativity and triggers ideas to help you accomplish your goals. Unsuccessful people always wonder whether or not a particular goal is possible. High achievers, on the other hand, only ask the question, how? They then set to work to find ways to make their visions and goals into realities. Ideal health and fitness. Review your levels of health and fitness in every area. 1. If you were a perfect physical specimen 5 years from now, how would you look, feel and appear? 2. What would be your ideal weight? 3. How much would you exercise each week? 4. What would be your overall level of health? Goals. Page 44. 5. What changes would you have to start making today in your diet, exercise routines and health habits to enjoy a superb physical health sometime in the future? You then imagine that you are an important and influential person, a player, in your community. You are making a significant contribution to the world around you. You are making a difference with your life and in the lives of other people. If your social and community status and involvement were ideal, 1. What would you be doing? 2. What organizations would you be working with or contributing to? 3. What are the causes that you strongly believe in and support, and how could you become more involved in those areas? Just do it. The primary difference between high achievers and low achievers is action orientation. Men and women who accomplish tremendous things in life are intensely action oriented. They are moving all the time. They are always busy. If they have an idea, they take action on it immediately. On the other hand, low achievers and non-achievers are full of good intentions, but they always have an excuse for not taking action today. It is well said that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Goals. Page 45. Examine yourself in terms of your personal inventory of skills, knowledge, talent, education and ability. If you were developed to the highest level possible for you, and there is virtually no limit, answer these questions. 1. What additional knowledge and skills would you have acquired 5 years from now? 2. In what areas would you be recognized as absolutely excellent in what you do? 3. What would you be doing each day in order to develop the knowledge and skills you need to be one of the top performers in your field sometime in the future? Once you have answered these questions, the only question you ask is, how? How do you attain the skills and expertise you will require to lead your field in the years ahead? Design your perfect calendar. Especially, decide how you would like to live, day in and day out, your ideal lifestyle. Design your perfect calendar, from January 1st to December 31st. 1. What would you like to do on your weekends and vacations? 2. How much time would you like to take off each week, month and year? Goals. Page 46. 3. Where would you like to go? 4. How would you organize your year if you had no limitations and complete control over your time? In the Bible it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. What this means is that, if you lack an exciting vision for your future, you will perish inside in terms of lacking motivation and enthusiasm for what you are doing. But the reverse of this is that, with an exciting future vision, you will be continuously motivated and stimulated every day to take the actions necessary to make your ideal vision a reality. The key to happiness. You remember that happiness is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. When you have clear, exciting goals and ideals, you will feel happier about yourself and your world. You will be more positive and optimistic. You will be more cheerful and enthusiastic. You will feel internally motivated to get up and get going every morning, because every step you are taking will be moving you in the direction of something that is important to you. Resolve to think about your ideal future most of the time. Remember, the very best days of your life lie ahead. The happiest moments you will ever experience are still to come. The highest income you will ever earn is going to materialize in the months and years ahead. The future is going to be better than anything that may have happened in your past. There are no limits. Goals. Page 47. The clearer you can be about your long-term future, the more rapidly you will attract people and circumstances into your life to help make that future a reality. The greater clarity you have about who you are and what you want, the more you will achieve and the faster you will achieve it in every area of your life. Create your own future. 1. Imagine that there is a solution to every problem, a way to overcome every limitation, and no limit on your achieving every goal you can set for yourself. What would you do differently? 2. Practice back from the future thinking. Project forward 5 years and look back to the present. What would have to have happened for your world to be ideal? 3. Imagine your financial life were perfect in every way. How much would you be earning? How much would you be worth? What steps could you take, starting today, to make these goals a reality? 4. Imagine your family and personal life was perfect. What would it look like? What should you start doing more of, or less of, starting today? 5. Plan your perfect calendar. Design your year from January to December as if you had no limitations. What would you change, starting today? Goals. Page 48. 6. Imagine that your levels of health and fitness were perfect in every way. What could you do, starting today, to make your vision for yourself into a reality? Goals. Page 49. Chapter 4. Clarify your values. One universe made up of all that is, and one God in it all, and one principle of being, and one law, the reason shared by all thinking creatures, and one truth. Marcus Aurelius. One of the most important characteristics of leaders, and top people in every area of life, is that they know who they are, what they believe in and what they stand for. Average people are usually confused about their goals, values and ideals, and as a result, they go back and forth and accomplish very little. Men and women who become leaders, on the other hand, with the same or even fewer abilities and opportunities, go on to accomplish great things in whatever they attempt. Life is lived from the inside out. The very core of your personality is your values. Your values are what make you the person you are. Everything you do on the outside is dictated and determined by your values on the inside, whether clear or fuzzy. The greater clarity you have regarding your values on the inside, the more precise and effective will be your actions on the outside. The 5 levels of personality. You can imagine your personality by thinking of a target with concentric rings, from the inside to the outside. Your personality is goals. Page 50. Also made up of 5 rings, starting from the center, your values, and radiating outward to the next circle, your beliefs. Your values determine your beliefs about yourself and the world around you. If you have positive values, such as love, compassion and generosity, you will believe that people in your world are deserving of these values, and you will treat them accordingly. Expect the best. Your beliefs in turn determine the 3rd ring of your personality, your expectations. If you have positive values, you will believe yourself to be a good person. If you believe yourself to be a good person, you will expect good things to happen to you. If you expect good things to happen to you, you will be positive, cheerful and future-oriented. You will look for the good in other people and situations. The 4th level of your personality, determined by your expectations, is your attitude. Your attitude will be an outward manifestation or reflection of your values, beliefs and expectations. For example, if your value is that this is a good world to live in, and your belief is that you are going to be very successful in life, you will expect that everything that happens to you is helping you in some way. As a result, you will have a positive mental attitude toward other people and they will respond positively toward you. You will be a more cheerful and optimistic person. You will be someone that others want to work with and for, buy from, sell to and generally. Goals. Page 51. Help to be more successful. This is why a positive mental attitude seems to go hand in hand with great success in every walk of life. The 5th ring, or level of life, is your actions. Your actions on the outside will ultimately be a reflection of your innermost values, beliefs and expectations on the inside. This is why what you achieve in life and work will be determined more by what is going on inside of you than by any other factor. As within, so without. You can always tell how a person thinks, most of the time, by looking at the conditions of their outer lives. A positive, optimistic, goal and future-oriented person, on the inside, will enjoy a happy, successful and prosperous life on the outside, most of the time. Aristotle said that the ultimate aim or purpose of human life is to achieve your own happiness. You are the very happiest when what you are doing on the outside is congruent with your values on the inside. When you are living in complete alignment with what you consider to be good and right and true, you will automatically feel happy and positive about yourself and your world. Your goals must be congruent with your values, and your values must be congruent with your goals. This is why clarifying your values is often the starting point to high achievement and peak performance. Values clarification requires that you think through. Goals. Page 52. What is really important to you in life? You then organize your entire life around these values. Any attempt to live on the outside in a manner that contradicts the values you hold on the inside will cause you stress, negativity, unhappiness, pessimism and even anger and frustration. Your chief responsibility to yourself in the creation of a great life is therefore for you to develop absolute clarity about your values in everything you do. Know what you really want. Stephen Covey once said, "Be sure that, as you scramble up the ladder of success, it is leaning against the right building." Carly Simon once sang a famous line, "Is this all there is?" Many people work hard on the outside to achieve goals that they think they want, only to find, at the end of the day, that they get no joy or satisfaction from their accomplishments. This occurs when the outer accomplishment is not in harmony with your inner values. Don't let this happen to you. Socrates said, "The unexamined life is not worth living." This applies to your values as much as to any other area of your life. Values clarification is something you do on a go forward basis. You continually stop the clock, like a timeout in a football game, and ask, what are my values in this area? Goals. Page 53. In the Bible it says, "What does it benefit a man if he achieves the whole world but loses his own soul?" The happiest people in the world today are those who are living in harmony with their innermost convictions and values. The unhappiest people are those who are attempting to live incongruent with what they truly value and believe. Trust your intuition. Self-trust is the foundation of greatness. Self-trust comes from listening to your intuition, to your still, small voice within. Men and women begin to become great when they begin to listen to their inner voices, and absolutely trust that they are being guided by a higher power, each step of the way. Living in alignment with your true values is the royal road to self-confidence,